Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Mew Mew Blog Thingy. It's been a while, so let's get started. Today we'll be delving into the fandom with part 1 of fan theories and headcanons. Just a reminder, as the names imply, this info is not official, so don't take it to heart. Whether you accept it as your own personal canon is up to you. Our first headcanon comes in the form of a story. Once upon a time, there was a little boy who lived on Earth during ancient times. Suddenly, the Earth practically fell apart right in front of his eyes, leaving only him and his mother amongst a few survivors. They knew that staying would mean their own demise, so the survivors took all that they had and traveled across space to find a new home. Even after using most of their resources, the planet they ended up on was almost inhospitable. The survivors did have a backup plan. Before they left, they created a powerful energy source to keep the Earth safe and hopefully help stabilize it so they could return one day when they had the means. But to use it to its full potential, they needed someone with strong emotion and motivation to activate it. They chose the little boy. They fused him with a small piece of the substance that they kept with them, trained him on how to use it, told him that he was their savior, their messiah, their god. However, during all of this, the boy was worried. His mother's health was on the decline, and he was the only one who could tend to her. He had hoped that if he learned to use his powers, he could restore her back to health. The leaders of their people, afraid that the child would forget his priorities, ended up keeping him away from his mother and told him that they would only try to treat her if he did what they said. The boy complied and eventually learned to control the powers given to him. He then snuck out one night to visit his mother, preparing to heal her. He made it back home, but only to find that she had died alone, never got treatment, and was left there without a proper burial. Furious by this betrayal, the boy struck back at his own people, but he was soon captured by the leaders. Knowing now that the boy would never comply, they erased his memories, except for the commands to reclaim Earth, destroy whatever was in the way, and to do it for the good of his people. They then transported him in a craft that they were able to salvage and sent him on his way. However, they didn't take into account one important detail: the substance they created and left on Earth, most which absorbed into his body upon arrival, while pieces of it scattered. Once the boy reached the planet and the fusion with it began, it felt as though his head was going to rip apart as his other memories began to resurface all at once. The memories of his past, his mother, his very own people who betrayed her by leaving her to die. These people counted on him to save them, but then he came to a realization. They didn't deserve it. The boy then decides that in order not to rouse suspicion, he will play the long game, and as revenge for those who betrayed him, go against them in favor to whoever inhabits the Earth. Unfortunately, after observing the humans and how destructive they were to the Earth and each other, he was just as disgusted with them as his own people. No one was worthy of him or his help. After millions of years, now was his time to act, to kill two birds with one stone. While sending a signal to his people as a sign for them to send representatives to assist in his reawakening, he'll infiltrate the humans by creating one imprinted with his personality and base his appearance on how he used to look as a child. The three who served him fought on his behalf and looked for the rest of the substance to complete his resurrection as they fought off a force that stood up against him. Everything was going according to plan. He gained the substance a little at a time, and the powers he shared with the body he created was slowly growing, and he soon took full control. However, his plan soon backfired. The child that he created learned to embrace his humanity after falling in love with a certain cat girl who was a part of the group that fought him. Just when the boy was about to succeed in his revenge, the girl, her friends, and the very allies he used went against him. At first he was able to hold his own, until the body he created went against him as well, and fought back, giving the girl the opportunity to defeat him. Disappointed by his failure, he laughed, called them foolish, and gave up the fight. Despite being defeated and reverting back to a bodiless state, he still desired revenge. He was prepared in case this very thing happened to him. Aoyama, the first body he created, was not the only one. There were others, each imprinted with bits of his personality. The love of nature, the hatred of lies, betrayal, and disrespect for the earth. Each with the potential for him to take over. One thing's for sure, he will return someday. The only question is when. As you guys can tell, this is my personal headcanon of Deep Blue's origin. A bit cliched and sappy, but I like it, which is a rarity on things that I make up. And that concludes part 1 of fan theories and headcanons. If you guys have a Mew Mew topic you want me to talk about, put it in the comments below. The more the better. Tune in a couple of weeks for part 2, which will have various theories from other Mew Mew fans.